I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
You are live on the Kip Capley Show. We are back on this beautiful Monday afternoon. We've had some great weather, boys. It's been a great weekend, and we're back. We're glad to be here. Obviously, I'm joined with the man, the myth, the legend, Lawrence Sutton, and my other friend, the Lawrence County Lord, we wish he's from Lawrence County. The Giles County.
He wishes he's from
Lawrence County. He does. That's true. The Giles County Rattlesnake. Excuse me, folks. Chris Morris. How are y'all doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I can't complain, except all this good weather puts me right in the crosshairs of having to do a lot of yard work right now.
Honeydews. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes, sir.
I'm ready for cold weather because that me and manual labor do not get along.
Well, I tell you what, we need to be blessed with some rain.
Yeah.
I know you guys up in Summertown had a pretty
big-
massive fire.
Yeah, it was a big
what
fire.
was it, Friday? Mm-hmm. So that was,
Yeah.
when you see a fire tornado, look out. And they had one in that one. So
Yeah.
had a good shot. Whoever did that did a great job of
Yeah, shout
filming
out
that.
to Lawrence County Fire and EMS, all the volunteer guys, Murray County,
Giles County.
Giles County. I think
Williamson.
Williamson came down. There's a bunch. So thanks to everybody that participated in controlling that.
Even
bad boy.
Lewis County.
Lewis County come out. That's right.
So
That's
yeah,
right.
y'all had what did it burn? About 300 acres up there.
Here's a big one. Yeah.
So
Nobody hurt.
Nobody heard
Nobody's
any
hurt.
property
Praise God.
destroyed.
As far as I know, it was just crop stuff. I didn't hear of any major structural damage. So I could be wrong, but that's what I heard.
Well,
I just seen the pictures, and it looks like somebody put a drone up and took pictures too. It looked like it was a field that had already been harvested.
Yep.
Or they may have been in the process of doing some harvest work. I know that farmers up there got their plows out and did everything they could to help. So I tell
hopefully
you what,
they
it's,
got the harvest in.
yeah,
I hope so.
very tender right now. So
is.
it's very
careful.
dangerous out there, and I got some things I need to catch up on at the house, and not going to do it till we get some much needed rain.
Yes, sir. That's exactly right.
Well, we forget. We got to have our shout out to Strikers.
Shout out to
Shout out to
Strikers.
Strikers.
Striker Steakhouse. A couple friends of ours ate there not too long ago. They sent me a text. They
Did
said,
you get the
shout out to
picture
Strikers.
too?
Yeah.
I got
Oh,
the picture.
Yeah.
I said, "Will you tell them that you learned about Strikers from the Kip Capley show?"
That's right. Shout out to
So
Strikers.
everybody, they sent me the picture. Shout out to Strikers.
You had something to eat good later.
Hey,
I'm
listen,
telling you,
this show's
Striker
helped getting
Steakhouse.
y'all some business, so
That's right.
we want to keep pushing the business there. Great place, great
That's right.
service, great food.
Excellent.
Did you share the chapstick with him real quick?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, I know you're not going to do it on the program, but I didn't know. I didn't want him to get away and.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's looking. Yeah, he's
yeah.
looking.
He's looking at
We gotta
it.
have a little fun. Kip, you need it. We got to roast you a little bit. He's had a rough weekend. Been down there at Bammer, down at that football game.
Oh, I heard that you had to get down on your hands and knees and kiss the ground once you crossed over the Alabama-Tennessee line.
I got back to Tennessee, and I had to get out and kiss the ground I was walking on. Now back to being Tennessee. Lord have mercy, I ain't never in my life. Whew, it was.
Was Clay there?
No, he was gone. I don't know what he's doing. But shout out Clay Doggett, by the way.
Shout out to Clay.
But it was a. I know we got some listeners that are Alabama fans, and I'm gonna withhold a majority of my comments. Let's just say that.
And I will too. Of course, I'm UT through and through.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna hold my
anybody who watched the game,
Yeah.
they ought to be able to see. And when Josh Hooper was asked about the refereeing, he just looked around the room and never answered. But I answered for him. It's terrible when the refs are one-sided. So,
Yeah.
and I'm not taking up for Tennessee because we lost, but
We did. There was
you
some
can
terrible-
actually see the terrible calls that were not made,
Well, in our play
or the
calling,
terrible plays that were.
our play calling in the second half was just it was awful. I mean,
It was.
It was so. I've coached football obviously at the Pop Warner level, and I don't know a whole lot about everything, but I can tell you if it's 4th and 1, we're not lining up in the shotgun. We're going to go under
We're
center.
going to be under center.
We're going to be right under center, and you're going to go forward. You're not going to go 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage and pray to God you're going to get it against Alabama defense.
It's called the push, right?
That's
The
right.
push.
Yeah, but anyway.
Well, listen, it's a lot of fun.
It was.
It's there's always next year.
That's right. We'll have them at home next year, too. So
Anyway,
we'll like that.
what's going on, Kip? Bring us up to date.
We're just living the dream. I'm working on some different things. Got a couple pieces of legislation we're looking at still. I'm not going to advertise a majority of it, but I got some stuff I think folks back home will be real proud of it we're looking at. And I'm going to try to do something a little different this year. There's a lot of bills that I don't like. That I'm hearing about, and I'm going to try to do a better job this year of letting folks at home know kind of what's going on, what bills I don't like, what we're doing, what committees they're going to go to. But Chris, that when you get up there, we're so busy, and people don't, and y'all have seen it. I mean, y'all get up there, and it's like a tornado.
In your defense, you had to go through the learning curve.
It was. You
were the youngest elected legislator in both the House and Senate.
Yep.
At the tender age of 25.
Yes, sir.
So you've since had a birthday.
Well, I have. I'm 26 now.
But anyway, you had to learn the ropes. Mm-hmm. And your first year of being up there is the learning curve. So you'll get better. You did a great job.
Busy.
It's just you're going to learn the procedures.
Yep.
A lot better, the ins and outs. So, and that's a great idea for the constituents.
Yeah.
To know how to follow a bill.
Yep.
To look at bills. But, my challenge, and I think Senator Paige Wally, and shout out to Paige.
Yep. Shout out to
At
Paige
the same token, said, hey, y'all need to go up there and pass a budget. Mm-hmm. And you got some things that need to be cleaned up.
Yeah.
But you need to remove some laws.
Yeah, we got some stuff on there.
That's what I challenge. We don't need to keep adding this and adding that. We don't need anything that's against our Second Amendment.
That's right.
And anybody that wants to do that's got the R behind their name, we're going to do everything in the world to primary you and get your butt out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to go anything against our Constitution, period.
Yeah, well, against anything.
Anything against our Constitution, you need to go. And I look back at and seeing the things how we have progressed, especially over the last 10 years in particular, and the Constitution is constantly being attacked by those on the left.
Yeah.
And then we have other people that they want to placate the other side. And they want to go along to get along.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of that goes around.
It is. Mm-hmm. And I don't know politics, obviously, like you do.
Well.
But to me, to go along to get along needs to stop.
Well, there's just when you look at Nashville, it's just, when we're up there, y'all seen it. It's a tornado. I mean, we literally, and just to tell folks back home, when I've got meetings, it's back to back to back to back to back to back, and then we're constantly moving, and something happens, a bill comes up that you don't know about, or you didn't know this part of it, and you're trying to go talk to the sponsor. And see, because I'm not like these Democrats that just put their bills up and don't talk to anybody. If I got a bill that I'm working on, I'm going to everybody. I'm going to the committee chair. I'm going to all the Republicans. I'm talking to everybody on the committee because I want my bill to pass. I'm not going to expect somebody to, just because I stand up there because I'm a Republican, just to vote for my bill. I mean, that's...
Can you help one of my bills?
Well, I want
to close the primaries.
Yeah.
I've been wanting the primaries closed. Put a bill up last year to close the primaries in Tennessee, and it don't even make it out of committee with the Republicans, with our supermajority.
I know.
And that needs to be done. So any Republican that watches this show, I'm watching you on your vote, because that's going to come back up to close these darn primaries.
I'll tell you the other thing, too, that is coming up that I think is very, very, very important is the 10th Amendment and the nullification.
Dave Vance.
yes.
Yeah, shout out Dave Vance.
That's a big one.
Love Dave Vance.
Shout out Dave Vance.
But I want to tell you why I think it's so important. I don't see, and I could be totally wrong, this is just my opinion here, but I don't see how America survives what we're doing. And right now, we are tethered to a sinking boat, and that tether needs to be cut, And that's what that 10th Amendment nullification does.
It's all about. And
is.
a lot of people don't even understand what that 10th Amendment does.
Well, basically,
It's a strong one.
It is a strong one, but basically, our government really only has 18 things that they're allowed to do. The federal government is. And if they go in and they encroach on anything other than those 18 things that are enumerated in the 10th Amendment, that needs to be ignored. It needs to be taken away from. It doesn't even need to be listened to, because that is not what the Constitution gives them the power to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you a perfect example of that. We're printing money. We print money. But in the Constitution, you're not allowed to print money. You're only allowed to coin money. It was only supposed to be backed by silver or gold, our money. It wasn't supposed to be backed by the full faith and credit. I mean, it just wasn't supposed to be.
Well, that's going to be a big one too. And obviously, again, shout out to Dave Vance for all his work on that. I mean, my guy, he sent me a text the other day.
And he's got a great radio program, by the way, called the Tennessee Informer.
He does, and you've been on that program. I've been on that program.
Yeah, shout out Dave.
I'm going to tell you something. About Dave. I probably talk to Dave 2 or 3 times a week, and Dave is about as good of a man. He is a patriot that all Tennessee should be proud of, that he lives in this state.
That's correct.
I'm just going to tell you.
And guess what? We're going to get to see him Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll all be together Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, moving forward, Kip, I'm going to talk about this. We were talking about, it's his first session. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to tell you what he did that greatly impressed me.
Uh-oh.
And, I'm
getting some belly rubs, folks.
Look out.
Let's see if that leg starts to twitching.
As long as you don't pee on himself.
That's right. That's right. Well, we might do that just to see him pee on himself, won't we?
That'd be rough.
But, Kip, you were one of only 10 people that voted against that central bank digital currency bill.
Yeah.
That came through in the House.
Yes, sir.
And you had the wherewithal to understand that, where our other 89 House of Representatives didn't even understand. They just voted.
Wait a minute, 24 of them don't even count, Lawrence. Get back down to 7.
No, they really do.
I know,
they really
I know,
do.
But 24 Democrats.
I understand that, but you know what? They should all be voting for the people of Tennessee.
Kip,
well, on that note,
Democrats or not.
Kip, it didn't a single Democrat vote against that.
Oh Lord, I'd have to look. I think it was 10 Republicans. I don't think.
It was all 10 Republicans.
It was all 10 Republicans.
Pretty sure.
And it's Kip and of course Clay Doggett.
Yeah. Jody Barrett. I mean, I'm going to tell you something. Here in Central Tennessee, we got some really good
conservatism.
We really got good leaders.
And I try to get it down to southern Middle Tennessee, this corridor from 40 south.
Yes, sir.
And that would include Jody there in a little bit.
Yeah, because he's got Lewis.
Dixon, 40 goes right through the heart of Dixon.
He comes down Lewis, too. He comes all the way down to Dixon Lewis, or Dixon Hickman Lewis.
And I'll tell you the other thing that Kip did, and Jody did as well. I'm going to tell you, Jody's becoming one of my favorite representatives, even though I didn't like his vote with Gloria Johnson. But you know what? When he explained it, I still disagree with him, but I understand why he voted that way.
Yeah.
And I've told Paige Wally this. If you do not go against our Constitution, we can agree to disagree. And I'm not going to get angry or upset about it, per se.
Could be disappointed, but not...
Be disappointed and really have heated debate, but I'm not looking to replace you.
Sure.
Okay, now you go against our Constitution, I'm looking to replace you at that point. But the other thing that Kip and Jody did, and both of them are first-year guys at that, is that they voted to close the special session. One of, 7 or 8?
Yeah, it was 7 of us, yeah.
Yeah. one of only 7 to
That's a
vote.
great job.
That's a
Hey,
lonely feeling, baby.
No, it's not. You know what? It's not a lonely feeling, Kip, because
It's a courageous. It should
up there
be courageous.
it was lonely, but I knew, you know what I mean.
it to me it wasn't even, and I mean, not even courageous, even because the people here in Lawrence County, Murray County,
Yeah.
Wayne County, and part of Hardin County had his back.
Of course, and I didn't. I would do it again. I mean, it wasn't. And I told the governor that.
But you know
Kelly
what?
Kiesling told the governor that.
Oh yeah, and you see what
Shout
happened
out
to Kelly.
Big Kelly
Yeah.
K, baby.
Yeah, you see what happened to Kelly, didn't you? So
Things happen.
things happen, but you
Things
know what?
happen.
You did it, knowing that there could have been huge ramifications against you.
Could have been, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got to. Here's the thing I try to tell the folks back home, too, is, you know, no surprises is the main deal in Nashville. If you let everybody know where you are from the jump, then I've done everything I can do. If I tell you where I am, and that's where I am, then there ain't no need to talk about it. We don't need to, you know, we can disagree. It's just like us talking. But if I don't surprise you, then I've done everything in my power to keep you from the. What are you going to say?
Well, you've
What are you gonna
the
say?
platform that Kip laid out when he was running. He stood right on his platform.
See, and that's
Yes,
what
sir.
I was about to say. But how many people actually do that?
They don't.
Few.
Very few.
You've got less than 15%.
And
say
and to
probably,
me that makes him a treasure.
Well, I appreciate it. It's
I tell you what, I wish y'all.
We're really giving him some belly. He's actually getting a little bit embarrassed.
I know
can,
this.
Can you turn
yeah.
red? I mean, he's got that red beard going, and he's still got a little red going on in that face
He's
right
beginning
now.
to get those rosy cheeks right
He
now.
is, isn't he?
But I tell you something I would love to see y'all do, and I know this is going to hair lip a lot of folks out there.
not the Pope though.
But you know, we got the NFL,
Yes, sir.
National Ferry League.
Uh-oh.
So, you know, we give that. Well, that's the way I feel. And I would love to see the state take that money back they give for this new stadium. I don't think we should be taking taxpayers' dollars and putting into a stadium.
Especially when they're going to promote an agenda.
Now
Why
they're
can't you just
promoting
promote?
an agenda, shoving it down our throat, and we need to take the freaking money back away from them
Why can't you just play football and shut
and
up?
shut your mouth.
I don't.
That's right.
know. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't.
And I would love to see somebody
I don't get it.
come up to the top out of the House members and move to take that money back. That is taxpayers' money.
It is.
And most people in the great state of Tennessee don't agree with that money going to the National Ferry League.
Yeah. I know.
Or it can be not for long. But anyway, it's after this, a couple of weekends ago, I shut the TV off. You know, they kneeled and for the anthem and just, you know, and I thought, well, so not all these guys are bad.
No.
And they're still not all bad.
No.
But for the most part, when the NFL is endorsing the LGBTQ plus community, I got a major problem with them. And that's, you know, no different than NASCAR with the crap they pulled. And I'm tired of it.
Which is crazy, by the way. I feel like that would have been the last line of defense for.
You would have.
For a true redneck.
Yeah.
You would have
I
thought,
mean-
but that's what
Yeah.
There's another acronym for LGBT.
Lay it out there again in case somebody missed that show. You got Kip and I. We had to jump that day.
Oh yeah, but no, this is a different one.
Uh-oh. Look out, y'all.
And he deserves it for calling me a Yankee.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
LGBT stands for Let's Go Brandon Taylor.
Oh, Lord. Shout out to Brandon.
LGBT. Let's go Brandon Taylor.
Lord, he
Calling me
didn't
a
know he was
Yankee.
good. You were trying to
Lord.
baptize him on the show. this
He
evening.
needs to be baptized.
Hey,
doesn't
when
he?
is the next? Now that we're on that, when's the next Lawrence County Republican Party?
Tomorrow
It's
night.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow night. That's right. Bam. Got it.
Gotta
I
be
wanted
there.
to make sure. Yes, sir. Because I knew it was coming up.
6 o'clock at the
Tomorrow
courthouse.
night,
Yes, sir.
6
y'all
o'clock,
got?
Lawrence County Courthouse.
I'm not sure who we got. It might just be me and Brandon.
I don't know. You need to be there. You need to be involved. Get your butt there.
Brandon's going to hear this, so there might be fireworks.
Could be.
Well, you know, we might be sitting there. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. So So
We all know what that means from NASCAR.
Oh Lord.
Oh, Lord.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
Well, we can't say that on the radio, but
No, sir.
anyway,
No,
I don't
sir.
want to get us banned.
Banned,
We
well-
done had one pull.
well, you know, we got our 12-year-old producer over there,
Yeah.
and I got
Shout out to Laura.
That's
Yeah.
right. Shout out to Laura.
shout out to Lauren. We'd probably get in trouble with my wife too.
Yeah, we don't need that.
No,
Yeah,
we don't.
We don't need
I
that.
thought you said you stayed in trouble.
I stayed in trouble,
But we
I
don't
don't
need to
want.
be.
I
We don't
want-
need to.
No.
We need,
You
yeah.
don't know what an Asian mama's like. You do not mess with Asian mamas. I'm just telling you, you don't mess with them. I mean, just ask Laura about the wooden spoon.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Laura's the expert on the wooden spoon.
Was that a bamboo one?
No,
wooden spoon?
no.
Have
There-
mercy.
no.
What you got next, Laura?
It's a straight out joke because Laura one time we were getting on to her or something, I can't remember, and she just looked at me. She was 7, 8 years old when she did this, and she goes, "Well, just spank me with a wooden spoon." And I had no idea where that came from. I'm like, that's funny.
Yeah. That is funny.
So
Well, what's next on your agenda, Lawrence?
well, I'm going to tell you something. Let's talk about the BRICS nations.
Brazil,
Brazil, yep,
Russia,
yep.
India,
India,
China,
yep.
South Africa.
South Africa. So, what's going on with BRICS, in case people don't realize this, is that they have got it set up. It's set up now where we have a decentralized, and they've decentralized it, multi-currency digital international payment center backed by gold. Not backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government, backed by gold that they're doing it with.
Not the almighty dollar anymore.
Not the almighty dollar's in trouble. I'm
That's
just going to tell you guys.
why we get in trouble when we keep printing money like there's no tomorrow. Those saying they act like money grows on trees.
Well, it does.
I've been looking for that money tree and I hadn't found it.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
all you
one
got to do
either.
is go look at the tree and then get it to a printing press. I mean, that's all it is.
true, yeah.
I mean, that's what it's worth. But I'm going to tell you what's kind of, I don't want to use the word scary because, you know, Jesus told us in times like this that we are to look up and our redemption draweth nigh. But do you realize in the last month or so that the BRICS have been the BRICS for, 10, 15 years. But they have now allowed 5 more countries to come in to join the BRICS nations.
Is one of them Turkey?
Not yet. It's coming, though.
Okay.
And I had that. But it's Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Ethiopia, and Argentina. These are 5 countries that are joining the BRICS. And do you realize that this represents more than 40% of the world population and more than 40% of the land mass?
I was going to say, them are big oil countries, too.
And they are big oil countries. Here's the thing. The only thing that's keeping our American dollar up right now, and this is not an opinion, I'm going to state a fact here. The only thing that's keeping our dollar up is the fact that OPEC, which is your oil-controlling nations, will still take dollars. And that's part of the reason why in 1971 we came off of the gold standard when Richard Nixon took us off of the gold standard, is the fact that all these oil-producing nations agreed to take and be exclusively the dollar for oil. Well, that stopped when the Biden administration decided that they were going after Russia for invading Ukraine, and said that then they took them off of what's called the SWIFT system. And the SWIFT system is only the monetary version of countries interchanging their currency using the U.S. dollar, basically. So when we took Russia off of the SWIFT system, then Russia says, we will only trade in rubles now, which is the Russian money.
Well, rubles, that's right. I'm thinking of rupees.
Rupee, that's right. No, it's the rubles.
Which is
India.
Indian money.
Right. But so here's what happened, and this accelerated it, guys, is when America did this. I mean, I can't tell you. You cannot be this stupid on accident. What they have done, what America has done to try to isolate Russia. And I tell you this, if you go look at America and where we are at financially, and you go look at Russia and where they're at financially, it's scary. Russia is 3 times better off financially than America is. As a matter of fact, on all your large countries.
And let me ask you, did that not just occur over the last 2.5 years? Tremendously.
Yes, it has.
It went on fast speed.
It went on fast speed. It really did.
Or super high, as some of us would call it.
Yes, sir.
So, but I'm going to tell you something. Now we're adding these countries, and you mentioned Turkey. Turkey is going to be involved in the BRICS for sure. And I'm going to tell you what's bad about Turkey joining BRICS. Once Turkey joins BRICS, and a lot of people don't realize this, but Turkey has the 5th largest army in the world.
That is correct. That's why I held up 5 fingers.
Right. The BRICS nation at this point will have 4 of the 5 largest armies in the world. We are being set up, I'm telling you, we're being set up biblically for an absolute looking at Armageddon and going into going
there
into
again.
Israel.
This is all our opinion.
This is my opinion.
People
on
need
this.
to get off in the weeds.
That's right.
You need to be reading the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38.
Yep.
You need to read Psalm 83.
Need to be reading Revelation
and Matthew 24.
Yep. You know, the crazy thing about Revelation is the only book that God says that he will give you a blessing for reading it. Not even understanding it, because most pastors, they don't want to touch Revelation. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to, I don't understand it. Well, God doesn't say you necessarily have to understand it. He even says in Daniel, Daniel tells us in the end times that you close up the book, you are not to understand it. Only the people that live in the end times will understand what you have written. But our pastors will not, like we say, get in the weeds and at least start having these discussions and at least start bringing these things out. And that's what we've been doing with our show on Fridays. We're going to bring these things out. We're going to get in the weeds. Yes, it's our opinion. But we need to start having these discussions.
It really
This
gets
is you to think.
WDXE,
W287 AA, and W237 FD Lawrenceburg. Broadcast services of Prospect Communications.
Okay, are we still live?
Yeah, you're still live.
Okay. All right. Well, there we go.
That's somebody getting in the weeds.
Yeah, that
That's
must
right.
be. So
China.
But
That's pretty good interpretation there.
Yeah, that is.
China.
But I'm watching what's happening with the BRICS nations, and to me, it's not scary. It's fascinating, to watch all these things coming about. Because I'm going to tell you something: when the BRICS wind up getting as strong as that they're going to get, it's going to be absolutely catastrophic for America. It's going to be catastrophic for us.
That just goes back to the point of we have to have a strong leader.
That's you took the words right out of my mouth. We have such weak leadership in all areas of this administration.
Yes, sir.
That everybody knows it, and they're coming. They're going to take advantage.
Of course.
Because they have the fear of 2024 themselves.
I will say this. You have especially, and this is crazy, but the Islamic nations absolutely hate the Biden administration. They want Trump. And that kind of gets me going, okay, if they want Trump so bad, and they want to get rid of Biden, what are we missing something? Or is Trump just doing such a good deal in negotiating and keeping things fair?
Y'all know I got to cut out here in a couple of minutes, so I'll give you all the reins, but I'll say this. I want a leader that's going to walk up to Putin and put his hand out and grab Putin's hand and bring him about 3 feet closer into his body and let him know you're messing with the United States, baby.
Well, you know what? There's videos of Trump doing
Oh, yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying. We need that again. That if you think any country in this world right now fears Joe Biden, you're crazy. That boy doesn't know what planet he's on.
Yeah.
He has no idea where he is. He's not controlling the country. Joe Biden's not.
You know,
He's not.
I would tend to hope not.
He's not. There's no way.
But I'm going to say this: whoever is controlling the country is evil.
That feller couldn't work a crossword puzzle, and I got to go. I love y'all. Hey, shout out to Strikers. Check us out next week on Monday. Go to Kip Capley for state representative. I'm going to turn this over to y'all. Thank y'all.
All right, buddy.
Be careful.
Be careful,
Thank
buddy.
you.
So, anyway, getting back to the BRICS nations. So, when we have Turkey that'll be joining the BRICS, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen probably within the next 3 to 6 months. You're going to have Turkey joining them. Turkey also is one of the few countries over in the Middle East that is very financially stable as well. And they are run by a dictator by the name of Erdogan. And Erdogan is nobody's dummy. I'm just going to tell you, this guy's sharp. He's smart. And, you know, it's kind of funny. You know, Trump talks about this all the time. You know, he would say Xi, you know, the Chinese leader, is smart. And he says Putin for Russia is smart. And the media just jumps all over him, you know, for saying that people are smart. But you know what? These people are very smart. They're cunning. You don't do what President Xi has done over in China and be stupid. I mean, you just don't.
Well, what the media in the U.S. tries to do to all Americans is polarize you.
Absolutely.
They are nothing but polarizing Americans. People need to educate themselves. You don't need to let the media educate you. And I'm going to go a step further. You don't even need to let your preacher or minister educate you. You need to educate yourself.
You absolutely need to do that.
You need to get in your own Bible and read the King James Version for yourself.
What does Jesus say? Jesus tells us that we are all are to come to our own salvation through fear and trembling. And there's a reason for that, is you just don't be spoon-fed what you hear. And so many people are doing that. You know, even in Matthew 24, you know, when Jesus told the disciples, the disciples came to Jesus and said, "When will you be returning? You know, and when will be the signs of your coming and of the end of the age?" And Jesus doesn't go out and just say, "Well, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen." The first thing Jesus says is, "I tell you this, let no man deceive you."
Because no man knows.
Well, no, it's not that as much as what Jesus is trying to warn us is that in the end times there's going to become deceptions that are so much out. The deceptions are so great that only through the Holy Spirit will you be able to see through these deceptions. Is basically what Jesus is saying. When you go and look at the Greek and how Jesus explains it and how it was written in the Greek by Matthew, you realize, and Matthew, who was a very educated person, by the way, Matthew is putting out there on the deception that you have to be very, very vigilant or you will be deceived. And it's and it's something that I fear for people because we don't want to get into the Word and we don't want to see these things happening. We actually want to ignore it. We want to bury our heads in the sand like the quote-unquote ostrich will do. You know, bury his head in the sand, not see the evil that's coming. But make no mistake, evil is not only coming, it's already here. And we're watching it unfold every day on the news and things that are seen. I'll bring up a perfect example of this. And, you know, I wish Kip was here because Kip knows this gentleman very well. As a matter of fact, Kip introduced me to this gentleman. who is a defense contractor. And we talked with him, and you heard some of the conversation last Friday, Chris. And we had cruise missiles fired by Yemen to Israel. Okay? Now, if I wasn't educated and the people weren't educated on this, and this is why we're talking about this now, a cruise missile, and he was explaining this to me, is only good for, at the very extreme most best case scenario, 1,000 miles. Well,
1,200 is very well stretching it.
12? No. You can't even go 1,200. No, I'm telling you 1,000 on the best day. 1,200 miles is Yemen to Israel.
That's where I'm going with this.
As the crow flies. But the missiles were going over the Red Sea to Israel, and that was more like 1,500 miles.
And there's no possible way. There's nobody in the world that has that capability.
That's correct. And that's what this gentleman was telling me. He goes, Lawrence, look at this. Now, Chris, when I read the newspaper articles and I read about this, I'm like, oh, yes, thank you, God, that we had that, that cruise ship in there to shoot down those weapons. But the fact is, I don't know about missiles, not like this guy. This guy works for one of the big guys. I'm not going to say who it is to protect his identity, but he works for one of the big guys of our defense military contracts. And he says, Lawrence, he says, it's impossible. He says, you need to go back and look. This is a Pearl Harbor incident, and this is a Gulf of Tonkin incident. And for people that don't know about the Gulf of Tonkin was a lie that President Johnson said that the Vietnamese and the Chinese attacked a warship in the Gulf of Tonkin in Vietnam and sunk that ship. And it wound up all being a lie just to get us into the Vietnam War.
And that's what started that Vietnam conflict.
And that's what escalated the Vietnam conflict. So when he told me this, I'm starting to look at, okay, is our defense industry, is America trying to start World War III? Well, we're close to World War III, and I don't think people realize how close we are to World War III. And I tell you what happens, and I've grown up hearing this, Chris, is that wars happen for money. It's a money thing for war. And I believe that our world is in such debt, not just America, but the world, and that they're trying to do anything they can to stave off what's coming to the world financially, because they don't have these digital currencies ready. I'm just going to tell you. But that's the whole reason why we are hearing we need to get rid of cash and we need to go to digital currency, because it's even more able to control people, their spending habits.
Folks need to know a cashless society is a dangerous society.
It's the mark of the beast.
It's the mark of the beast.
Okay. Now, I will say this. I'm not going to tell you that as soon as a central bank digital currency comes into play, it's the mark of the beast, because the mark of the beast, we do not know or have an antichrist yet, because we don't have the third temple built. But reading the Bible, and again, this is my opinion, but I would say most people would agree with this. Most biblical scholars will agree with this. We cannot have an antichrist until we have the third temple built for it to be desecrated by the antichrist. Now, there are some people that are preterists, I believe that they call themselves, where they think that this has already happened. You know, everything that's written in the Bible is all written as history and past, and nothing is prophetic or future. I don't believe that. I don't stand on that. But I will tell you this, Chris, is that when you see that third temple starting to be built, just know Christ is even closer to coming back. And that's what I'm looking for. So I don't want to. I'm getting off in the weeds here, but I do want people to realize you need to fight back against this digital currency. So many people, that's all they're using. They're using their debit cards. They're using their credit cards.
Apple Pay.
Apple Pay. People are no longer writing checks. They're no longer using cash. And
have you ever noticed that the amount of businesses that won't even take a personal check or a business check anymore?
You know, I haven't, but
pay attention.
I will start paying attention. But I do know this. I know I'm seeing some businesses that are coming out that'll no longer take cash. And why, I do not know. But they're not.
I still like the color green.
You know what? For the time being, I do too. But I like more
of the gold.
I like gold and silver better. Yeah.
Sort of like that Christmas song, Silver and Gold.
That's right. That's right.
But one thing that I want to say, we have a great program that we do every Friday. Mm-hmm. Free Speech News, and it's on at the same time on Fridays, 5 till 6. Thank you, WDXE. But there's something that's really bothering me that I want to touch on before our time gets away.
Yeah.
But go ahead and finish and just...
No, I'm finished.
Okay. I know we got to, tune in Friday because we've got a great program that we're going to be talking about, and it's actually, we're going to be talking on Psalm 83, correct?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
And, it's getting way off in the weeds, and people, you need to understand what's going on and what's happening right in front of us, and it's all in His plan. Whether we like it or not, it's there. It's for real.
Yep.
But anyway, getting back to the state level.
Yes.
Something I want to talk about, we talked about it when it happened, and it's August 16th. You remember that day?
I do.
Had an FBI shooting in Chester County, Henderson, Tennessee. As of today, crickets from everybody that I've reached out to, and shame on you. Our Republican leadership and on the federal level, the senators and congressmen, and I feel like that congressman over there, Kustoff, really needs to get up off his can and really be getting into this, because he is a former federal prosecutor. And here he is. He represents just about every county over there but part of Shelby and I think Tipton, But he's got all of West Tennessee. And this really bothers me that the FBI violated our Constitution, came into that county, and I have the proof they did not notify anyone.
And you have
Nobody.
to by law.
And you have to by law.
By law, you have to notify the sheriff.
And the sheriff of that county, and I hold him responsible too, should be standing up and arresting every FBI agent for murder.
Yes.
They should do something about it and handle this. It's not up to the chief of police of Henderson. It's up to that sheriff. And still today, as far as I know, as us talking right now, the family still has no answers.
They have no answers. The only thing that I've heard is Paige Wally had
stepped up to the plate.
He did step up to the plate, but he texted me and said that the FBI has been saying this, that it was due to child pornography that the guy had. But you know what? Here's the crazy part. That's the only place I've heard that from is from Paige. I haven't seen it in the media.
It has not been in the media, but I've heard the same thing from some reliable sources. But still, if that is the case,
why wouldn't they put it out there?
Why haven't they put it out there? Why are we hearing crickets? And I'd love to hear some answers. I'd love. I hope Paige watches the show that we're doing, and that Paige will. Paige, I really appreciate you stepping up to the plate and coming out there, and I'm standing there with you. I'm right there with you. We need answers.
We do, and you know what? To me, one of the most wicked things that you can do is to harm a child. As a matter of fact, Jesus even says that if you are to harm one of these little ones, it's best for you to tie a millstone around your neck and drown yourself in the ocean. So Brandon and I, we call these people, we call these pedophiles, we call these people that say, we're here, we're queer, we're coming for your children. These people that want you to accept who they are, and more importantly, make your children to accept it. These people that want to take your children and mutilate them either chemically or castrate them physically as children because they feel like they're a member of the opposite sex of what they were born to.
Hold that thought. I want to come back to that. But to close this on the FBI in Chester County, even if all we've got is speculation, I've heard it from a couple of great reliable sources that would be in the know, but still, even if that is true, the FBI violated our Constitution. That does not give them free rein.
No, it doesn't.
Just like they did this in Hickman County. So I have a very big concern when I hadn't heard a thing out of that governor. I don't know if you have. I haven't. We haven't heard from nobody. The only
Bill
person...
Lee needs to go back fixing air conditioners. To me, he is a detriment to our state.
Don't disagree.
I mean, I hate saying it. I'll be honest with you. I did not vote for him this last time. I voted for him in 2018, and I want my vote back. I'm ashamed of myself for voting for him in 2018.
To go back to what you... Now, let's jump back.
Yeah.
Of course,
Talking about the Millstone Society.
The Millstone Society.
Yes. So any of these people that are going to harm a child, Brandon Taylor and I, we call them the Millstone Society. And these people are, you harm a child, you are evil and demonic. Period. End of story. I do not care. You know, when you have California, I'm going to tell you how far we have fallen as a country. But you have the state of California that has this law out there that allows sexual relationships with a child when the age is less than 10 years apart in difference. Go look it up. I mean, this was passed in like 2021. I mean, it wasn't just something that was just passed even. It was passed during the thing with COVID. But
there were a lot of things in these Democrat states that got passed during COVID.
It did. But so you're going to tell me a 19-year-old can in California can consensually have sex with a 10-year-old?
With a 9-year-old, yeah. Well,
or 10, yeah. I mean, it's got to be 10-year age difference. I mean, who knows, you know, what they would consider the 10 years, the 9 or the 10. I don't know that fact.
In California, they don't know.
They really don't. They really don't. But you know what? When any of these people that would want to harm a child, it's a Millstone Society. So I said all that. I got off on that tangent. I'm sorry, you know, I got into the weeds on that. But to say this and get back to that Chester County incident, if it was something that this person was involved in child pornography, why hasn't it been out? If I had screwed up, okay, I'm just talking about me. If I was in the government and I had screwed up somebody's rights so bad, okay, Chris, and I'm just telling you, where you have gone against the Constitution, you have broken a federal and state law to have made an arrest, and that arrest even led to the killing of this individual, okay? Wouldn't you have been putting it out there? Well, we did this because this was a child molester. This was a guy that was trafficking into child porn. and nothing.
All we've got is total silence.
All we have is total silence. You know what? When the FBI came there, they didn't even tell his mom.
They jerked her out
of the
and
house.
told her it was none of her business.
That's correct. Okay, I'm sorry, but if it was in my house, that is my business. It wasn't his house, that was her house. He was staying with her. And you're going to jerk somebody out of their house at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning.
And stuff them in the back of a patrol car.
And tell you to shut up, and it's none of your business what we're doing.
And the next thing you know, there's flashbangs and
destroying their home. They're destroying the home. They're destroying the home.
And what I understand, the gentleman tried to get up, go through the back of the house, the kitchen area, and then shots were fired, and
he was killed. But there wasn't any shots on him. They're trying to say, oh, he was heavily armed, but there's been no proof of it.
There's been nothing proven that he was even armed.
It's kind of like the manifesto. We're hearing nothing about the manifesto.
That's kind of it ain't kind of. It has gone silent.
It has definitely gone silent because you know why it's gone silent, Chris? Because what is in the manifesto is that they do not want out because it does not fit their narrative. If it does not fit their narrative, they don't want it out there. And trust me, we know and we have heard enough from reliable sources that it does not fit the left's narrative.
Let me switch gears. I'm going to jump back down into the state of Alabama for a second because it ain't but an hour from here, Decatur, Alabama. 3 weeks ago, unfortunately, there was a shooting that involved the city of Decatur Police Department. They went to a call where a tow truck driver, repo as we call them, had gone to repo a truck, and the owner pulled a gun on him.
Right.
And so anyway, the police show up, and whatever happened, there's all kinds of speculation, but the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency is still investigating, and everybody is now wanting these police officers down there arrested for murder. Okay? But everybody with these Ring doorbells and what they think they're seeing is crazy. Nobody really knows, and they need to let the law enforcement do the investigation. But, buddy, they are protesting like nobody's business. And if anybody knows the old 31 route that goes across the Tennessee River Bridge, as I call it, before 65, they blocked. The NAACP blocked that bridge the other day and then wanted to act like, well, we got car trouble. Our car's broken down. Bull crap. Y'all got out, and people from the cars behind you got out, and you started protesting. They should have arrested every one of them. Now the NAACP wants everybody that's been arrested to be released. And that's just, we're making everybody guilty. And we're not even letting the law enforcement do their job. And yes, I back the blue. We're 100% behind you on this program.
We are, but I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to play devil's advocate here, is that because of the media narrative, and let's face it, it is the media that is doing this.
Polarization again.
Yeah, we're polarizing where if people are only getting their news from the mainstream media and they are not going out and learning it for themselves, then they probably believe that all police are evil and all police are looking to hurt them or whatever else.
Well, the 1%ers that are is what hurts the other 99%.
Well, I don't even know if it's 1%.
Well, I'm just using that as an example. Quick, easy math.
It is. Now, I'm going to tell you, and this what I'm about to say is going to be inflammatory. I don't have the numbers, but I tell people you can go look this up. You can go look it up on the FBI website even. And there are more, even based upon not only numbers, but percentage-wise as well. There are more unarmed white people that are shot by police
daily
than there are black people that are shot by police. So I will say this, the media is trying to turn everybody against everybody. And the fact remains, okay, here's the fact. I could care less what color you are. And if anybody can say this, it's me. Okay, I'm just going to say it. I'm in a mixed marriage. Which, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, it was looked down upon, by society even. And this is how far society has come, where it's, it's no longer even thought about. Mm-hmm. But I will say this, and we're about ready to end. Look, we got less than a minute to go, Chris. But I'll say this, don't believe what's being put out there. Don't let the media control your thoughts. Let the Lord Jesus Christ control your thoughts. Get into your
Amen.
Bible and have those thoughts controlled. 30 seconds left. We got to talk
looking forward
about
to
strikers.
Friday.
Oh, we're looking forward to Friday.
Everybody join us. Looking forward to y'all's meeting tomorrow night. Shout out to Strikers.
Yes.
Everybody Go to Strikers. We had one of our mutual friends. He and his wife went this weekend. They thoroughly enjoyed it.
You know what? I messed up. I'm not going to say where I went, but I decided, well, we've been eating at Strikers so much here lately that, well, let me just go try something different. So we went and tried something different, and I should have went to Strikers.
You were disappointed.
I was disappointed. Strikers has ruined me.
Hey, until next week on the Kip Capley Show, been great, Lawrence.
Yes, God bless everybody, and God bless the state of Tennessee. Goodbye.